The opioids crisis that has taken hundreds of thousands of American lives has gotten less attention during the pandemic, but it's no less dangerous.
$14,810 per overdose death. That's what McKinsey calculated. Not estimated, calculated in an Excel spreadsheet. The consulting firm proposed rebates to pharmacy companies like CVS for every OxyContin customer who overdosed. A specific dollar amount for human death. This wasn't risk analysis. This was pricing. You saw this headline in February of 2021. McKinsey settles for nearly $600 million over role in opioid crisis. And you thought, case closed.
What?
Justice served. Settlement announced, money paid, story over. McKinsey paid for what they did, and everyone moved on. That's what the headline promised.
My first knee surgeries, they gave me one of those, and I took it, and I remember being on my couch when I lived in New York and just sitting there watching TV like this.
Yeah.
Feeling so stupid and thinking, oh my God, I am never taking this shit again.
Wendy Olson's father was a retired pediatrician and U.S. Army officer. Decades earlier, a Purdue Pharma sales rep walked into his practice and pitched OxyContin. He turned them away. He wouldn't prescribe it. Then in his 80s, after surgery, he became addicted to the drug he refused to push, not by choice, but through pain management that spiraled into dependence. One of 2,484 CVS customers McKinsey projected would overdose. But here's what makes this systematic, not accidental. McKinsey didn't just calculate a dollar amount per death, they projected 2,484 CVS customers would overdose in 2019 alone. Chain-specific projections. They calculated CVS would receive $36.8 million in rebates based on those overdoses. It wasn't risk analysis, it was operational planning. They ran the numbers. They forecasted body counts. They prepared it for implementation. That February 2021 settlement? $573 million. The December 2024 settlement? Another $650 million. Combined, that's $1.223 billion. That's 85 times what McKinsey earned from Purdue Pharma over 15 years. But here's the structure. A deferred prosecution agreement. No conviction. If McKinsey stays clean for 5 years, this disappears from the record. No criminal conviction, no corporate felony. The number sounds like accountability, but the terms say otherwise. 3 years later, December 2024, another headline. McKinsey to pay $650 million to resolve U.S. investigation. Full context, this time, criminal settlement. The DOJ called it the first time a management consulting firm has been held criminally responsible for advice the firm has given resulting in the commission of a crime by a client. Historic, unprecedented, accountability. You thought this was the real one. But read the terms. No admission of liability. The deferred prosecution agreement shields other executives from prosecution. As long as McKinsey avoids opioid-related wrongdoing during the 5-year period, the executives who designed the turbocharged sales strategies won't face charges. The headline says accountability. The agreement says immunity. Martin Elling, senior partner at McKinsey, the only McKinsey executive to see prison time, 6 months federal. Not for the turbocharged OxyContin sales advice, not for the rebate for overdoses proposal, not for the body count forecasting, for destroying the emails about it, obstruction of justice. He got 6 months for the cover-up, not the deaths. Kevin Sneeder was McKinsey's global managing partner when the scandal broke. In February of 2021, partners voted him out after a single 3-year term. Why? Not for the opioid work itself, but for his public apologies. Partners thought he showed too much remorse. They saw his apologies as weakness, as loss of independence for the firm. Years later, Snyder testified as a character witness for Martinelli, the executive who destroyed the evidence, called the obstruction conviction an aberration. The man fired for apologizing defended the man imprisoned for destroying proof. You know, maybe we should have expected this. The pharmaceutical industry ranks as the worst viewed industry in America. Why? Merck's Vioxx killed 60,000 people. The company knew about cardiovascular risks as early as May 2000, but continued aggressive marketing anyway. Paid $4.85 billion. Moved on. McKinsey isn't an aberration. It's the latest iteration of a pattern. Pharma companies know the cost of killing customers. They've paid it before. They budget for it. At the 2022 Purdue bankruptcy hearing, victims confronted the Sackler family on Zoom. Danny Olson, Wendy's son, asked them directly about withdrawal, about grandchildren watching their grandparents suffer from addiction. Ryan Hampton, a former opioid addict turned activist, told them he hoped every victim's face would haunt them.
That medication wasn't just curing the physical pain for me, it also started to cure the emotional pain that I was having as a human. And my use turned into overuse and turned into misuse, and I needed more medication. And as I needed more medication, my doctors, the pain doctors, instead of saying, hey, you might have an issue here, they said the solution was always to taper me up, give me more, which would solve the problem.
The Sacklers sat motionless. No nods, no tears, no acknowledgement. 24 victims testified. The Sacklers listened in silence. Nothing changed. Kevin Snyder fired in early 2021 for apologizing too much. By September of 2021, 6 months later, he was co-president of Goldman Sachs Asia Pacific, serves on the management committee, oversees expansion into China. The elite professional class takes care of its own. Fired from one scandal, hired by a major global bank within months. No consequence that stuck. Martinelli, the only McKinsey executive to see prison. He'd been living in Thailand since 2019, before the scandal even broke publicly. Served his 6 months, his legal team released a statement about his intentions to spend the remainder of his life seeking to regain the trust of those he disappointed with his conduct. Disappointed. Not harmed, disappointed. And McKinsey? Still consulting for pharmaceutical companies in 2026. The life sciences practice is active, serving over 35 pharma and biotech companies. Industry publications still list McKinsey as one of the top pharma consulting firms to consider. $1.25 billion in settlements, 0 criminal convictions. And they're still doing it. Critics of the settlement were right. Without holding individuals liable, these settlements aren't deterrents. No one goes to jail. The fines are just a cost of doing business. And in the end, the business continues.